Hi guys, today is reaction video. So I will do a reaction video to a YouTuber from a channel called Bright. And this YouTuber made a second round review of the XPeng G9 a couple of days ago, at least it was published at that time. But from the comments, it seems that the person that did the review had some trouble doing it. So I will react to it. I will give you my opinion on what he's saying, and I will try to clarify if there is any missing point that he may forgotten. So let's go to the video right now. So here we are. Let's start with the video.
Last year I already drove a long way to Belgium in the XPeng G9. And there were some very nice moments and some less nice ones. Yes, now there is a renewed XPeng G9 and a renewed XPeng G6 by the way. But today we are going to see if all the annoyances we experienced before have disappeared and if the good points are still as good or even better.
Okay, so as I said, it's a second round.
Yes, and what should we remember from the XPenger? Had an 800 volts architecture. Well, for the non-nerds among us, that means that it can charge incredibly quickly. It could already do that with more than 220 kilowatts back then. Now it can charge with 330 kilowatts. It is a spacious SUV. Back then it started around 60,000 euros. A bit depending on which version you took. And it was packed with tech. Well, what do we still know about that car? Well, that it drove very well, but that a few things could be improved in the software. Starting with the driver assistance system, which kept telling me, pay attention to the road conditions, pay attention to the road conditions. Quote,
yes, yes.
and then there was the cruise control, which was quite nervous, so if someone merged, they'd hit the brakes very hard, for example. Let's also check if that's improved. It couldn't calculate a route past charging stations, and Apple CarPlay wasn't there yet. Well, we're going to find out if all that's now included and if it even has keyless go. What you might expect for a car this price. Okay.
So let's first say that until now what he talked about was the previous review, and from the screens that I saw, and there was here a mark on the top of the screen that said January 2024. So it seems that this is a video that was made in January 2024. So yeah, the software was a lot different. I know that CarPlay and Android Auto was not present, so I cannot comment on that because it was even so it was already almost 2 years ago, because we are almost at the end of 2025. So I will not comment on that, but let's see.
Expect for a car this price. Okay, doors locked. Keys here.
What?
Keys going.
I don't know what he did. Maybe he's just a funny guy and trying to be funny for the video, so to get engaged. But for people that are seeing these, you don't need to dance to open the door. So yeah, the key can be in your pocket. And there is also something very interesting, that is a mobile phone that has also key. So you don't need to dance in front of the car to open it, but it seems okay.
There's still an extra screen here for me as a passenger, which you can't see from there because of a coating. What's gone is the makeup area. I think that's a real shame, but I do have the mindfulness area now. So let's go with activating meditation for you as the driver and for me as the passenger. Oh, there goes my seat.
Okay, yeah, so we have this app to relax a bit.
Oh. Let's see if we can get a route that passes charging stations if we want to go to Andorra.
Oh,
Insufficient range. Yeah, I understood that too. No charging stations. Just 2 traffic jams in France. So I still can't figure out how to adjust the mirrors.
What? Whoa. So he went from cannot put charging stations to I cannot adjust the mirrors, side mirrors. this was a very quick change of subject, but yeah, you can program your trips and add charging points along the way. You just need to see here. So it's not a problem of the software. You have here, this is the icon that you need to press to add the charging stops to the route that is planned, and it will give you, as you see here in the screen, there are 3 routes, and if you just press that, the car will calculate then on those 3 routes what are the charging stops, and then you can just navigate from them. You will have the charging stops that are planned. You can then adjust it with how many battery you want to reach to each charging station, and then the car will recalculate based on that. So let's start from the beginning. You can, on the settings of the inbuilt navigation app, you can define the basic settings. So you can define already the amount of energy that you want to arrive to the final destination and the amount of energy that you want to arrive to the charging stations. But then when you make the plan, you can then adjust that per charging station or per stop. You can adjust the battery that you want, and then the car will recalculate the route using that. It's possible. So I don't even understand what he said, and then he jumped to the side mirrors.
I understood that too. No charging stations. Just 2 traffic jams in France. So I still can't figure out how to adjust the mirrors. Oh, I've forgotten again. So now I can adjust my mirrors, but then I have to go into driving mode and then scroll down really far to get to the side mirrors. That's really weird. Oh, that was the biggest problem. Because you can't navigate past chargers and you don't have Apple CarPlay. Yeah.
I don't know if this is the translation of the video, but I am really confused about this, the start of the video. We are at 3 minutes, and I am really confused what he is saying. So again, yes, you can plan with chargers along the route. So that is something that is really incorrect from him. Then the side mirrors, yes, they are in the settings of the car, and as that is something that you just adjust once in your lifetime, I would say that at least I have my car for 7 months and I adjust it once because there is accounts. Each person that drives the car has their own account, and the car will adjust the seats position, the lumbar adjustment, all of that, also the side mirrors, the layout of the screen, everything. It will be depending on the driver, so depending on the account that is using the car. So all of that, it's adjusted automatically. So I do prefer to have the settings and definitions of that I need to use every single time, or mostly all the time, or more times, accessible easily. And then the settings that I just use once, they can be in the settings very deep on that. So I don't understand. And then he talked again about CarPlay, but on the new G9 and on G6, etc., you have Android Auto and CarPlay also. So I didn't understood.
How are you going to find charging stations then? Then you have to manually search for them all in the app and then add them.
No, you don't.
Now I can just use a better route planner, for example, or Google Maps, and then I can create a route in Planner along the charging stations. So, not as convenient as built-in navigation, because you also know exactly how full the battery is.
Okay, sorry again, but he continues to eat the same error, and it's an error. So yes, you can use in the inbuilt system with all those things that he says that it's convenient, and yes, it is convenient and it is available in the car. It just doesn't know how to use it. And then he talks about CarPlay and a better route planner and Google Maps and Waze. So yes, you can have all of that. And also, there is also incorrection, because he says that with a better route planner, you don't have the information, for instance, for the charging and the state of the charge of the car. But you do, you can connect your car to a better route planner and do that.
But better than nothing at all. Well, we've found a road with somewhat normal lane markings. So if I can just go in here, we'll see if the driver assistance systems react a bit less aggressively. Okay, I'm already getting a speed limit warning. It thinks I'm going 60 here, while I'm actually going 80 here. I do get a button to...
It thinks that I am going 60, but I am really going 80. Is he saying that the speed indicator is incorrect? That is very strange. Or is he talking about the speed limiter? So if the road is 60 and you are going in 80, you will get a notification that you are above the speed limit. But then again, you can disable those alerts if you want, but they exist, yes. As we have also alerts for fatigue. We have also alerts if you go cross the lane. You have a bunch of alerts. If you are opening the door and there is a car coming, you will be alerted. So there are a bunch of alerts that you can define, activate, or even define the sensibility of it.
Turn it off. Huh, then I have to click OK, just like with Tesla. 2 clicks and then I'm on autopilot, so to speak.
Now he's talking about autopilot while he's talking about clicks on the alerts.
So then it also keeps itself in the center of the lane and, of course, maintains a distance from the vehicle in front. So far so good. I've even been watching the camera for a while now. I'm now getting the message. Pay attention to the road conditions here in the image. And yes, with the previous XP, it said that out loud too. It's probably a setting you can turn on or off, but it's nice that it's no longer enabled by default. XP boasts about its advanced AI capabilities. But here, for example, I have a traffic light, and yes, it doesn't do much with it. You can't see it. And if I understand correctly, they've moved away from LiDAR and, like Tesla, are now doing everything with camera footage. And yes, most people actually agree that LiDAR is more expensive, but also better.
No. I don't know where you got that statement and from where you got that information, but that is completely incorrect. So not most people agree with you, but also, yeah, of course, it is more expensive and it's even more complicated to introduce in advanced vision model, AI vision model. That it's what XPeng says that they do. And LiDAR, in fact, is a problem for this type of model. So it can work well in some conditions, but it works very badly in some other conditions like fog, rainy, because the light that LiDAR needs to have for controlling things gets crazy about that. If any of you has those robots that auto clean your house, you know that when you are mapping the house with that robot, if you leave your windows open and if they are going to the floor, the LiDAR cannot map correctly the place where you are because it doesn't know where to stop because of the light. So it doesn't have that information. So LiDAR is good for some things, but it's not the best decision. So I don't know from where he got this information, but it's really strange.
And that's of course because you can see just as much with a camera as with the human eye. But with LiDAR, you can see through fog, through rain, and
Whoa! No, you cannot.
therefore you can see more.
No, you cannot.
So I don't know if it's an improvement that this car currently no longer uses LiDAR, but only cameras. Anyway,
I cannot say if it is better or worse. Of course, that for LiDAR you can do some other stuff. It's good for specific environments. But then to train a system, an AI system that is vision based, as XPeng and also as Tesla, having some inputs that are not vision based, it's more complicated to mix everything. So it's a decision, a technological decision. So it's not just A or B. You have a lot of things in the middle that you need to take in consideration. And XPeng and Tesla decided to go only cameras because it is easier to train an AI system that is based on vision to use vision information and not LiDAR. But anyway.
we only get to drive it for an afternoon, so we're not going to find out if it works in rain or fog, for example.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to lose my CarPlay. This is so annoying. I think I accidentally touched this button, I suspect. And then that Chinese robot starts talking to me. and it doesn't understand Dutch. That's one thing, it doesn't speak Dutch, and it can't help you with a lot of things.
So he was with CarPlay, he pressed the button, and CarPlay disappeared. But it's the fault of the car. So if you close your door but leave your hands outside, and if you hurt yourself, it's because of the door, not because you left the hands out or you closed the door. If CarPlay just disappeared by itself, we would understand the complaint. So why is CarPlay disappearing? But he touched a button, he activated the assistant, he changed the environment, and he's complaining because he lost something in the screen. And then it changes to the fact that the assistant doesn't talk in Dutch. Yeah, it doesn't talk in Portuguese also. And I have to use assistant in English. There are plenty of cars that do not have assistant in all possible languages. But if you don't know how to speak English in this case, then it's again also a problem from you. It's not only the XPeng assistant. And then it says something that it really amazes me, that then the Chinese robot cannot do most of the things. Which things? I didn't saw you try to do anything still. But you are already claiming that it doesn't do a lot of things. So try to use assistant and then let us know which things didn't work. Because like that, it's just stupid.
So yeah, it still accelerates like crazy, quietly inside. It still does, like the G9 before, which is why I liked it so much. And we drove the most expensive version with air suspension back then. And that air suspension has now been improved and is standard. So if you buy the cheapest version, you also have air suspension. And because the previous version couldn't, navigate itself to charging stations, missing CarPlay was really annoying, because then you couldn't install an app to do that. Luckily, you do have CarPlay now, so you can use a battle route planner, say which car you have, and then plan a route to charging stations that way. So that's better. But what I find really weird is that this is a gigantic screen, and Apple CarPlay takes over the entire screen.
So before, a problem is that CarPlay doesn't exist. Now the problem is that CarPlay exists but takes over the full screen. But he goes again to the same mistake that he did in the beginning of the video. So it seems like he made a mistake in the beginning of the video, and during the full video, he decided to push the same mistake once and once and once more again. So no, man, the car can do planning of a trip with the charging station. So you don't need to use anything else to do that. But if you want to use CarPlay and a better route planner, you can. That is good. You have options. And if you want to have information from the car to a better route planner, you can. It's just connecting both systems. It's a setting there on the better route planner. If you want to use Waze or Google Maps, then you can use, but those do not have that integration possible to be done. So I don't know what he's complaining about.
So now I can't see what setting my heating is in, for example. If I want to do that, I have to go back to the home screen, then to XPeng, and then I get that bottom row again. And there's no shortcut to quickly go back to CarPlay. Yeah, so that's really annoying. It's not.
I am getting annoyed, but not because of the car. It's because you don't know what to do in the car. It's like someone sitting on the back seat and saying that this car has a problem because I don't find the wheel to drive it. Yeah, it's not on the back seat. So let me explain after the. So all of this that he said, it's wrong. Okay. Now I understand the comments. So basically, it's like this. As soon as you enter on Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, yes, it's a different environment. It will take all the screen as if you put YouTube in full screen. It's exactly the same. So it's a full screen app. And as soon as you launch it, you have many ways to go to the original system, so the environment of XPeng. One is what he showed, that it's the longest way, that is just using the shortcut that it's on the app drawer of the CarPlay or Android Auto, and select it, and the system will then minimize to that place. Other way to do it is using gestures. You just need to use 3 fingers on the screen and just do this on the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and the system will minimize and you will be immediately on the inbuilt system. Or, because you are talking about the bottom bar, if you just scroll with your finger from the bottom up, the bottom bar will appear. Exactly, if you scroll from the top, there are a lot of shortcuts that are also there, as you do in your mobile phone. It's very convenient. So if you just scroll up, the bottom bar will show, and you can, even without leaving the Android Auto or CarPlay, you can even check on the bottom bar the status and settings that you have for the air conditioning. You can even use the wheel on the wheel drive to change those settings without even leaving the CarPlay. But if you leave the CarPlay, you can also put a shortcut for the CarPlay in the bottom bar, because the bottom bar is fully customizable. So yes, you can do all this stuff that you said that it's not possible, that it's not convenient. You can do it. So don't say that it's not possible. If the problem is, let's continue.
Not well combined. And for a company that says, we're leading the way with software, yes, I really think that's a bit of a loss.
No, a loss is you that don't know how to use technology. This is crazy.
And another thing that's still going on is, pay attention to road conditions all the time, but I do get that ping and that text on the screen. And that's partly because that camera for that is still here on the left side of that front pillar, also quite low. So if I have my hand a bit high on the steering wheel, or if I'm a bit taller and I'll block the camera that way, yeah, then it'll keep pinging.
This is a lie also. So I have my car for 7 months. It does blink. It does say something if you are fatigued, or if you are doing something very strange. It's not as rigid as you see sometimes at Teslas when you just look to the screen when you are in autopilot. In this case, it doesn't do nothing like that, so you can look to the sides or whatever. But it will say if you block the camera for some reason. Yeah, if you drive like this, it will block the camera. But I don't believe that there are many people driving like this, as you exemplified. So I do believe that, and the system will blink and it will tell you, but it will be only once. In my car, when the camera is informed that when there is that blink for fatigue or something like that, I can just disable those alerts. So you have a world of settings to turn off and turn on alerts, and also play with the sensitivity of those alerts. So I don't even understand. Let's continue.
Well, I'm just looking ahead. I just had to make a long turn to the right. Yeah, then I look right through that bend and then it doesn't see my eyes because I'm looking in the logical direction, and then it starts making that pinging sound again. And you have to turn that off every time.
This is not true. And oh God, the car will not blink if you just look to the other side. It doesn't happen like that. At least in my car, it doesn't happen like that.
660L, I think this is really the party piece of this car. This is also the reason why you choose this one and not the smaller G6s. And we also have a frunk where you can store a charging cable, but also an extra set of shoes or a small weekend bag. Another small annoyance from the original XPeng G9 that hasn't been fixed. That charging port opens very slowly, but then I still have this cap for a fast charger. And if I leave it hanging and then close it again, this one is stuck in there. Stupid. The battery
Oh God, I don't have words for this. First, let me explain. I will not even comment, but let me just explain this. I don't felt that it took a lot of time to open, but this is my opinion only. The guy is quick. But then that thing, it's to protect the charger, and it's a plastic thing. You can remove it if you want. You just need to push a little bit and it will be removed. And if you forget to put it back, don't blame the car. Again, if you leave your jacket and you close the door and it's out, yeah, it will make sound because you left the jacket out of the door. I don't understand.
Has been changed to an LFP battery.
And they call it stupid.
And the advantage of that is that there are no more rare earth metals in it. So better for the environment. And it can charge even faster. The previous one was already at 220 kilowatts at, well, really at the top, actually, because of the 800 off structure.
I thought
This
it was
one charges
faster
at
than this, but I don't have
451
the numbers in
kilowatts
my
peak
head.
speed. It was a success to find a charger that can do that. My opinion of the car hasn't changed much since the first time I drove it. And let's be clear, I didn't absolutely recommend it then, but it's definitely a car worth considering. Especially because it's very quiet inside and it's really very spacious. And the air suspension was only available on the more expensive models back then, but now it's also available on the cheapest, the entry-level model, and it's even been improved a bit. But the pain points have largely remained, because yes, it now has CarPlay, but it still can't even navigate around charging stations. That assistant, cute little robot on the screen, still doesn't speak Dutch and sometimes doesn't understand you in English either. And I find it a bit unforgivable for a company like XPeng that says, our founder is primarily a software person. And that's also where we send our messages with this car. Yeah, sorry, but then it's just not quite up to date yet. What does a beast come out of? What the? Open. I have a button for that trunk. Hold. I'm holding.
So guys, I really don't know what to say about this. So many mistakes in a 10-minute video that it's crazy to think that this is just ignorance and not knowing the technology and the brand and the car, and then doing this bad job. So for me, this was the worst review that I have ever seen in a video on YouTube about cars. Well, I cannot say this. This is also a bold statement, because I can imagine if I put myself in the shoes of someone that doesn't know XPeng, doesn't know the G9, and was looking at this video, they will comment, of course, and they will get this ignorance information and errors and mistakes and all of that, and they would consider that it was true, and so they would not evaluate this video as the worst video. So I don't know if sometimes I get that type of videos also, but this is why I say that these professional reviewers are sometimes very dangerous, because I don't know if there is a hidden agenda here or not, or if this is pure ignorance, that it's possible also, because sometimes I know that these guys get a car a couple of minutes before doing the review and have just a couple of hours to just set up everything, start driving and start talking about the car that they don't know. But it's not an excuse, because of course that if you know that you are going to work with an XPeng G9, for instance, you could watch other videos on YouTube to prepare yourself, to understand that there are some things that you can do, and then when you are doing your review, then it's easier for you to demonstrate at your own style that makes your channel. So I can imagine that if you don't have the car to try it out before, at least try to find a couple of sources so that you have that information before testing on your own. But coming to a video, making a review, even this is the second time that he watches this car, and so he's doing a review and not knowing basic stuff. So this is not even going to the X combos and explaining how you can customize and program some actions based on triggers and something like that. Because for that, you would need to have time with the car, with the app, and understand the things. So I'm not expecting you to do that, but you could even mention that because it's one of the things that is almost unique to the car. But I would give it for free if you didn't do that. But you didn't talk about the comfort of the car. You didn't talk about the massage seats. You didn't talk about heating and ventilation seats. You didn't talk about the sound system that the G9 has, and you could see on the video those speakers coming out. You didn't demonstrate the assistant being wrongly or correctly helping you doing stuff. So you just made a statement saying that XPeng doesn't talk in Dutch, and even when you tried in English, it didn't understand, and it is has limitations. So for me, after seeing all of these and knowing the car, I would say that you don't know how to speak in English. That's why you didn't even try it, because as XPeng don't speak in Dutch, you were not able to test it because you don't know how to test it, something that is in English. This is my feeling about this, and sorry if I'm being rude, but this is the feeling that I had. So you could talk about so many things that the car has, but you didn't. You decided to bring a mistake, because it was a mistake, stating that it was not possible to plan a trip with charging points. And you kept repeating that mistake along the video. And then on top, so to make it better, you decided to everything or almost everything that you mentioned of bad. It's crazy to think about this. Everything that you mentioned as bad, it's just mistakes that you don't know how to use it. So this is crazy. It's really crazy how you could make a 10-minute video. So it's not like a 60-minute video that you had so many things to talk about and to test that you made some mistakes. No, it's 10 minutes. You consolidate the most amount of errors that you could do in a 10-minute video. So it's amazing, because you probably made 8 minutes of mistakes and 2 minutes speaking well of the car, and that's it. So this is it, guys. So I don't have more words to describe this video. So I now I understand why in some groups people were just having fun about this video and saying that he missed completely. Now I fully understand the topic, and now I understand the comments on the video that are crazy, saying that he made a lot of mistakes there. But it is what it is. So the video is online, you can check it. But it's crazy to know that some people are going to be influenced by this type of videos, this type of information, that it's completely wrong. So guys, leave in the comments what you think about this. If you saw the video before, if you are one of the persons that commented over there, because this is really funny. And that's it. If you like the content, just leave your like, of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, and of course activate that bell there so that you get notified about new videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys. Ciao.